couldn't do an awful lot about it. Can't get out of the way when it's thundering off the end of Lee Chong Wei's racket. And that one is dropped out. So here we have Lee Chong Wei, 3 game points away from taking the first. That one is dropped wide again. Just 2 points away for Lee Chong Wei for taking the first game of this semi-final, men's semi-final at the Malaysian Open Grand Prix Gold Tournament, coming to you live from Al Satar in Malaysia. Well, yes, he put it away. 1 point away. You can't give the man with his back to us at the moment, the man on your screen, you cannot give him half opportunities, and unfortunately in the last couple of points that's what Sho Sasaki has done, and he's unfortunately paid for it. That time it was a mistake from the racket head of Lee Chong Wei. 2012, 12-20 now as the Japanese player will serve. He was trying to flick it up. Actually, I think Lee Chong Wei was hoping he was going to go out, and at the very last second he snatched at it but just didn't have enough elevation. Oh yes, that's dropped in, and he's taken the first game 21-13 for Lee Chong Wei. Good performance, good opening for him, and I'm sure the Japanese coach will have a few things to say to his charge at the back to us now, wearing the red and facing us on our television court is the man who took that first game 21-13, Lee Chong Wei. Left by the Japanese player, thought it was going to drift out. Maybe he just miscalculated his position on the court. Thought he might have been a foot back from where he was. Let it drift. That time Lee just couldn't get enough underneath it. Sho Sasaki, little bit to do here to get back into this, having lost the first game 21-13. Did well until after the mid-game break. Then he seemed to make a few unforced errors, which allowed the number one back in. That one is dropped in, drifted in. Talking about the word drift, that is one of the things that we check before. All the officials check before to see if there's any drift in the stadium. And when you hear us commentators talk about drift in the stadium, we mean that, for instance, doors opening and allowing a lot of air and wind from outside to come in. The air conditioning as well plays a part. So everybody has to make sure that there is no advantage to any of the players at one side of the net or the other. So they have to make sure that there is no drift in the stadium. I'm delighted to say there's no drift here, so both the players have equality as far as the conditions are concerned. Again, Lee Chong Wei with a delicate touch, pushing it into the forehand of the left-handed Japanese player. A bit of a worried look on the face of the 28-year-old from Japan. That one went wide, pushed very well by Lee. Went into the far corner where his coaches are there. Lead coaches, there's two of them, sitting side by side. Had a few things to say to him during the mid-game break and at the end of the first game. Again, a little delicate touch leaving Sasaki down. Disappointed with himself there. It's all tied up at 3 points each. That one drifted way out. I've seen a lot of Lee Chong Wei over the last couple of years. As I say, he's a delightful man, delightful character, and very shy at times, concentrates on his game, but he's very, I suppose, in a way, critical of his own game as well as his own form, and he's expecting an awful lot of things that should happen. But sometimes he's inclined to maybe be too critical of his own performance. But how can you be critical of your own performance when you entered 13 tournaments in 2010 and you win 12 of them? Going to the backhand. That's an unfortunate shot for Sho Sasaki. When Lee plays that shot, he puts it right across his body, and the Japanese player has to reach for it and just can't get a hold of it. It was a slice by the Japanese there, Sasaki, controlled by Lee, and then once he got it across the net, we'll just watch it here, see the slice, and then the little shuffle forward by Lee Chong Wei pushes the shuttle back over the net, and no control from the Japanese player. One of the things that many of us commentators have said about sports people, and not just in badminton but in many other sports, the great champions always seem to have time, plenty of time to play their shots, whether it be golf, whether it be cricket, tennis, whatever. And the same thing applies here in badminton. This man, Lee Chong Wei, over the last 18 months while I've commentated and watched him, he always seems to have time, whereas other players have been hustled and, rushing in to take shots. He just seems to have all of the time in the world. And you can watch that for all the young players watching around the world. This man play the game of badminton. He just seems to have time and time to take his shots and to place them wherever he wants to. So basically, when he is playing, not alone are you excited about watching him, but you're also being coached. Because if you watch and learn from this man, you will learn a great deal. That's just a little bit too long. The Sho got up underneath it, pushed it. 8-4. Crowd loved that. Of course, one of the things about watching Lee is amazing how he's able to position himself. He sets the shuttle back and forces the player to actually play the shot that he wants him to play. And you saw that in that incident there where Sasaki went straight down the middle and Lee had it cut off. He was actually thinking ahead of the Japanese player, like one of the great snooker players of the world. That one is wide as well from the racket of Lee. Great snooker players just don't hit the ball that's in front of them. They're thinking about 3 or 4 shots ahead of them. This man, Lee Chong-wei, is doing exactly the same here. And that was shown to us there in that last point, or the second last point. Downward spiral by the Japanese player, Sasaki. He trails 10-5. And that one went out from Lee Chong-wei. And I can tell you, the close-up shot of Sho Sasaki shows on his face he was relieved at that. There he is, has a few problems. It's a big problem. His opponent on the other side of the net. Again, cross-court, going to the backhand, and that's the big game break. The number 1 in the world has taken an 11 points to 6 lead. His coach is in there.
魅力非凡，女王氣派。德興集團誠意推介女王燕，12位用1333，惠顧女王燕，同時加送極上3流優惠券，訂座熱線28101101。
聚焦宣傳強勢，進佔市場優勢，有線電視高頻率播放廣告計劃喺4大強勢節目平台中選擇其中一個，以高頻率發放你嘅廣告信息，達到至強嘅宣傳效益。廣告查詢21126888。
做咗媽咪真係日日都咁開心啊！媽咪。